Hello class. Today we are going to talk about taste, fashion, and consumer behavior. Okay, taste is the most powerful determinant when you make a choice decision, like clothing selection. Taste will be the mostly reflected on your decision making, so that is that important part. But the real thing is we have like 40 students in this class, and that means we are having 40 different tastes. So it is really hard to define, really hard to conceptualize what a taste is. And your reading for this week is talking pretty much about the histories and the theories, what fashion scholars and the social scientists has talked about the taste and what is the history of the taste and how the theories of the taste has been developed. So for today's class on Tuesday, all right, we're going to talk a little bit about those scholars that who had been mentioned on your article, all right. So for today, we're going to talk about history of taste and power, how it is linked and correlated, and we're gonna talk about some taste theories, just a little bit about the taste theories, and then on this Thursday we're gonna talk more about your reading and the examples of this taste theories and how the new kind of theories which are discussing about the taste invention and taste adoption. Okay. Before we start, I'd like to make an announcement. All right. Nowadays, I'm getting many of your emails, many of your questions through emails, and you are the most frequently asked question is about your attendance. Right, I'm gonna see if you have logged in on the YSEC on the day of the class or the day before the class, and if you were there, I'll mark you present. Okay, that almost everybody who was here last week except 손혜리, 주하윤, 조서후, 틴시리, 김애현, 김지산, 자쿤 Lee. Right? So in case I made a mistake to mark you as absent, if you were here, please let me know. All right? And the second question, I'm also getting many suggestions from you guys, and which is really good because we are responding to me. Okay, thank you. And some of you said that you are having on the other classes, you're having the Zoom interactive meeting online class, and which is really good. It's better than this the YouTube video lecture. It is far much better to communicate with you in time in class, so you can stop me at any time. Stop, I don't understand. Please repeat that. I don't get it. Say that again. And you can stop me at any time, and you can ask me questions. All right. So because the school announced that we're gonna have 2 more weeks, so we cannot meet for the next 2 weeks in class. So I'm thinking, and I have decided that we're gonna have a Zoom interactive meeting starting next Tuesday. So for this Thursday, we're gonna have this YouTube video lecture as it is scheduled earlier, and then we're gonna move on to try this Zoom interactive meeting starting next week. Okay. Okay, so I have requested the URL address of this Zoom interactive meeting for this class to the school, and I'm waiting for their response. Okay, so as soon as I get the new URL for this meeting, online meeting, I'm gonna let you know, hopefully on this Thursday, all right? And I'm gonna notice on the YSEC as well, all right? Please check that for me. Okay, let me introduce about today's class objectives. Last week we have talked about Roland Barthes, his book Language of Fashion, and the meanings of the fashion and the signs of the fashion, and how the fashion system has been constructed to promote certain fashion, to make your consumption continuous and cyclable. That means the consumption will last forever by the invention of new fashion, and by introducing new fashion to consumers, they are promoting consumers to make continuous consumption. So we have talked about his critics on fashion system and the structure of the fashion system, right? And we have also talked about the classic of the fashion that has been transcended and emphasized and appreciated by the people, or lots of people in living in different ages and the places, and how the meanings has been changed or reinterpreted. So we have pretty much talked about the fashion and the change last week. Today we're going to continue on this line to talk about the taste invention, and many of theories that has been developed by the social scientists as well. And we're going to talk about the taste creation and the invention and the new ways to create the fashion creation and expansion, especially on the space of social media. Before we start to talk about the definition of taste, I'd like to ask a question. Your taste has ever been changed? Do you think your taste has been changed over times, or you pursue certain tastes and your taste never changes? Okay. So that's a difficult question, but in my opinion, my taste has been changed over times. So if you are meeting new taste, or if you have introduced the new taste by someone else, or the important others to you, in that case, you can have your experience. You can have your chance to expand the range of your taste by try something new. Okay, so for example, for the ancient times, the taste was just about your sense. So it tastes good, it tastes soft, and it tastes delicious, and those kind of you're sensing, and this is your taste. That is your inborn taste. So in the ancient times, we never talked about your taste as a social things that somebody else might tell something about your taste. There's some mean people on the Instagram like saying that she has a taste. She doesn't has a taste. She's just following the fashion, and those kind of judgment is still going on on this era. And the Alexander McQueen, if you like this designer or not, but Alexander McQueen has always talked about transformation. You're transforming yourself by choosing certain fashion and trying new fashion to totally transforming yourself to become more kind of ideal you. That means if you are having a certain kind of desire to look powerful sometimes, and then you're gonna wear this gothic like Alexander McQueen dresses and jumpsuits. In that case, you look more powerful, and you are feeling like you're more confident. In that case, Alexander McQueen has talked about consumer want to transform themselves in some cases. So he had talked about, I want to empower women, so I want people to be afraid of the women I dress. That means he as a fashion designer, he has a mission to make somebody look better or different if they want in that way, and then that must be one way to accept someone else's taste and to look different, right? So what is taste? In social science, taste has been defined as individuals' personal, cultural, and aesthetic patterns of choice and preferences. It is individual thing, your individual choice, but at the same time, that is social and cultural choice of you. You belong to certain society or community that you want to belong to. Okay, so the constant conflict between pursuing your individuality and to conform to this community that you want to identify yourself as a group members is continuously conflicting to construct your taste. That is what taste has been defined by social sciences. Right? So taste is drawing distinction between things such as styles, your manners, and consumer goods, and works of arts, and the fashion, etc. That is also studies in the field of social distinction. You want to distinguish yourself from the other people in other communities. So that is something, very social thing to identify yourself as a group members or as an individual at the same time. And now let me talk a little bit about how your fashion and your taste has been linked with power in history. Okay. Did you know in 15th century there was a ministry of fashion? Actually, there was a conflict in those area, there was a conflict over the succession of French throne by the nation of France and England in this age, and there was a 100 years long war, and we're calling that 100 years war. The war has been continued for 100 years, to prove the power of the nation and to get the territory of the nation, and the power of the nation became so important in those age. In 15th century, that was the Middle Age, which is well known for as the Dark Age in fashion. That means the power of the religion was much higher than the power of the nation or the power of the king. So lots of fashion in the Middle Age was restrained and simple, and the simplicity in the lifestyle was considered as the pursuit of the people who are living on those ages. But Charles VII, who won this award thanks to the Jeanne d'Arc. You can see the picture of Jeanne d'Arc here. Jeanne d'Arc's wearing a very decorative armor suit, because that was one exceptional case to have very powerful looking kind of costume on those days on the battlefield. So it was a girl, but she was exceptionally allowed to wear this armor suit, and this armor suit was the symbol of the power on this age. And after winning this 100 years war, Charles VII established a ministry for fashion in the 15th century. Literally, that was the ministry of fashion, because so fashion or the manner or the taste will be in certain ways and in certain manners. So they are presenting the ways to wear armor suit, to wear their costume, their clothing, and that was symbolizing the people who are wearing those clothes in those ages. And the power of the nation has been reflected on the costume of the people who are living on this nation. So that was the power, and the fashion started to be linked, right? So what the Ministry of Fashion in the 16th centuries of the France actually did, okay? So they have invented the new fashion and the new taste for the people to adopt. So that was the birth of fashion system. So fashion system was firstly constructed in 16th century France, and they have elaborated new ways of talking, new ways of wearing clothes, and new ways of art and etiquette, and how to meet the sociability with communicating oneself with others when they are attending like social meetings and the social gatherings on those ages. So that was the role of Ministry of Fashion in 16th century, and that department of the nation, a Ministry of Fashion did important work to lead the Renaissance in 16th century in the nation of France. So lots of Italian artists like Leonardo da Vinci has been moved into French society because the king, the first of the French king has invited him or many of the artists from the Italy to prevail the artistic movement of Renaissance in French society. So that was what the Ministry of Fashion did in 16th century. So after the Renaissance in 17th century and the 18th century, following certain rules of fashion and a certain dress code for social gathering became so important for the people, especially for the noble people. And the fashion was accepted as a new taste, as a new knowledge and information that only limited people could get and share. So there were practically the standards of the beauty and the standards of the fashion on this age in 17th and 18th century that was called as the era of fashion. So following certain fashion, those ages was considered as a taste, desirable taste that people want to adopt and conform. So that was the taste, the definition of the taste on those ages. But Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher, more exactly the philosopher Preußen, and Immanuel Kant has developed his theory and philosophy about pure aesthetics, because in here he explained that we cannot make a judgment on somebody's aesthetic choice. We're calling if everybody else and everybody in this society or community agrees to adopt certain fashion, is that a taste, a desirable taste? But Immanuel Kant said no, because aesthetic itself is so pure, so individual. Every individual, all different levels of the taste could be all appreciated. So it is just inclination, your propensity, your characteristic, and your personality to pursue certain kind shapes or the styles of aesthetics. But the fashion and the social agreement cannot shape the fashion. Here, Immanuel Kant has distinguished the fashion and the taste, right? Okay, for the next class, I will go to the 19th century France to talk about the class development and the advent of the new class called bourgeois in 19th century in French society, and we're going to talk more about the taste and the class. And then we're gonna continue to talk more about how taste is being developed and invented and transcended in nowadays in contemporary society. So I have uploaded one article which is called In or Out, How Consumer Performances Lead to the Emergence of New Taste. Consumer takes their roles to invent the new taste. So we're going to talk about the new theories of taste invention and taste adoption. Alright, so please find the PDF file uploaded on the YSEC under the category of week 2, and we're going to meet on this Thursday again on this YouTube channel for the last time. Okay, so see you next class.